You had quite an advertising quarter here, 12% up, even taking out the Super Bowl and Grammys. We've seen advertising markets cycle up and down. Is this merely a cycle, or do you think there's something more fundamental going on?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that are going on. Number one, a lot of money that had potentially moved to digital. Suddenly people are realizing that not all digital is that great, that there's a lot of false viewing on digital. And I think a lot of money has returned to network television. In addition, network television has proven it's doing better than most of the basic cable networks. So we're seeing a return right now to the broadcast. There is no better bang for your buck. And as you said, helped by the big events like Super Bowl and Grammy, but the underlying growth without them was 12%. So we're pretty excited going into the upfront.
Les, do you really see dollars coming out of digital? Because we look at numbers like from Facebook, and they seem to be really growing to the sky.
Well, there are certain digital places, Facebook, Google, doing extraordinarily well, and we have a number of digital assets that are doing well. But I think overall, people are saying, you know what, the best buy is broadcast along with digital. And obviously, the Facebooks of the world are doing extremely well, but not all digital is created equal.
Les, you mentioned your digital assets. I'd like you to tell us about those. You've got CBS All Access, you've got CBSN, you've got Showtime. Of those, and I know you don't break them out separately, but of those, which are doing the best right now and which have the greatest potential as you look at them?
You know what? I'm not going to pick out among my children, David. Actually, I'm extremely pleased. All three of them have only been in operation for less than a year or a little more than a year, and we couldn't be more pleased with the results on all of them. CBSN is obviously a non-subscription base, but the numbers are growing every single day, especially during this election season. And Showtime OTT and CBS All Access are doing extraordinarily well. They're beating projections. As we look forward to adding Star Trek to CBS All Access in January, that's going to provide a bump, plus the continued strength of the Showtime lineup and the ability to make it easier to get Showtime. So in all honesty, I'm extraordinarily pleased with all three of them.
Recognizing that they're relatively new, at what point do you expect they will become material to the revenue line of CBS?
It's already happening right now. I think in the quarters to come, you're going to see some more numbers, some more transparency into what we're doing there. But the revenue is now beginning to make a difference. And in 2017, I think it's going to be a very, very large number.
So staying with the fee structure, apart from advertising, you're expecting $1 billion in retransmission consent this year, fees that are coming out of the stations. Is that going to continue to grow past 2016?
Well, we've already said by 2020 we expect to have $2.5 billion in retrans and reverse comp fees. So those numbers continue to go up. People are paying more for our content, and in addition, you will have the addition of the skinny bundle plus All Access. So what we're saying to everybody is we provide CBS no matter how you want to get it, and for sure, the retrans and reverse comp fees are growing substantially.
So as you talk about things like the skinny bundle, what is your concern about cannibalization of some of your existing outlets?
You know, we have said we are willing to put our content everywhere as long as we get paid for it. And there's a lot of noise in the marketplace about the skinny bundle becoming much more important. Obviously, we live in a 180-channel universe, which a lot of people don't want to pay for. So the skinny bundle is going to become more and more important at a lower price point, and people are going to get only those channels that they want. So we're basically saying, however you want it, if you want to be in the 180-channel universe, we're fine with that. If you want to go to a 15-channel universe, we're fine with that. And finally, if you want just CBS a la carte with All Access, we're fine with that as well.
Let's talk about the old-fashioned world of radio for a minute, Les. You've indicated that you're going to separate that out from CBS, most likely as essentially a spin-off to shareholders. Why would you spin it off to shareholders instead of selling it outright? If you sold it, you'd have the cash to invest in other things for CBS.
Well, first and foremost, we did it with our outdoor business, and we think the split off is probably the way we're going to go with it. However, at the same time, there are strategics who are coming in and talking to us. So we haven't eliminated the possibility of doing that. Either way, we think there's a lot of value in CBS Radio. It doesn't fit with the direction we're going with video and the rest of the CBS corporation, but we think it's still a very, very viable business, and it'll either be a split off or some other form of a combination. And whatever it is, it's going to definitely deliver a lot of money to us.
But you are talking to potential buyers. Do you think it is possible to sell it for a fair price?
Well, we're talking to buyers. We're also talking more to people who may want to do strategic partnerships with us. So you're looking at every single possibility from reverse Morris Trust to a split off. And either way, we're going to get the best possible deal for the CBS shareholders.
Les, since you and I last spoke, you have a new job. You're chairman, not just CEO. Tell me how that's changed your day-to-day life. How are your responsibilities really different today?
Well, being chairman, obviously responsible for the board of directors and dealing with the issues that come up before the board. Obviously, you know, I worked closely with Sumner when I was the CEO, and now Sumner's the chairman emeritus, and it's worked out very well in terms of my additional responsibilities. Life is not all that different. I'm sort of just doing more of the same and maybe a little bit more corporate responsibilities, but my life is still pretty much the same. Dealing with content, dealing with investors, dealing with a lot of different things that come with being CEO and being with chairman.
Given the success that's indicated by these most recent earnings for the first quarter, you obviously are thinking about strategically how to expand CBS, how to grow it out, and perhaps more than just organically. Do you feel the authority you need to drive CBS in the direction you think strategically makes the most sense?
There's no question about it. We have an extraordinary board. They're an independent board. They're a smart board. They're extremely supportive. Obviously, we consider ourselves first and foremost right now a content company. We produce content for Showtime and for CBS and the CW and its syndication. So as we go forward, we would look to expand in the content areas. And yes, I have a lot of support from my board of directors, and I'm looking forward to a great future here.
Les, you've always been a big cheerleader of content. Going all the way back to Lorimar, you've always been really into content. When you look at a deal like, for example, DreamWorks, did you get a chance to look at that? Would you have liked to buy it? Are there other things, such as an interest in Paramount, that you could expand your content basis into?
I think Comcast made an extraordinarily smart deal getting DreamWorks Animation. You know, they're a big company. They're a big feature film company. They already are in the animation business. So DreamWorks Animation, a very good company, would not have been a great fit for CBS. We are still primarily a television company. Are we looking to expand in content areas? Absolutely. But it needs to be the right fit for us.